Hi everyone, and welcome to Lab 5. This will be the final lab before the midterm and the final lab for my portion of the course. So here I have my Cura or Ultimaker Cura software open. Yours should look very similar. So you should see that you've added the Creality Ender 3 3D printer. Now this printer has no support, and that's one of the reasons I've chosen it for this lab. And in this series of videos I'm going to walk you through using the Cura software, and then you can compare it to the GrabCAD print software you've also used. So first, let's just take a look at the interface. Here's where I go to open a file. Make sure you've saved it as STL. This tells me what printer I'm preparing it for, and over here it tells me the nozzle and material, and we're going to set all that up shortly. If we go down to the bottom left-hand corner, we can change the view of how we view things. So isometric, front, top, left, right side. Just going to put mine back to the isometric. If you click and hold your middle mouse button, you can move the tray around. If you click and hold the right mouse button, you can rotate. The other thing you'll notice, we're on the Prepare tab. So that's where we're going to prepare our model. And then we can go through Preview, and if we're hooked up to the printer, we can monitor the printing. Okay. Over here, on the right side of the screen, we can set up various printer settings. So if you click on it, it will expand, and we'll do that after we have our part in. Right now it's just showing the default settings, and if we click on it, it goes away. Our next step is to load our model. So I'm going to move back over to the upper left hand corner, and we'll go through these as well as we build our model. So I'm going to click the folder. It's going to take me to the last folder I was looking in. So I'm in my course folder, and I'm going to go into the course, and I'm going to choose the STL. So I'm going to choose the Snowflake cookie cutter, and I'm going to say open. It'll place this on the tray and puts a shadow, and we get a couple of notifications. In the lower right hand corner, we can go ahead and slice the model, but first we should look at its orientation and placement. And here in the lower left hand corner, it tells us what objects we've placed and their size in millimeters. You'll also notice a new toolbar has opened up, and this will allow us to help position the model. So first I'm going to select my model. And when I do, it gives me the blue outline, and we get our various X, Y, and Z axis. So if I want to move it, I can just click and I can drag it around using these axes. I wouldn't suggest dragging it in the Z unless you're stacking up components. As soon as I select it, move it around, it also tells me the position on my tray relative to the machine's home. So if I go to the next step, I can scale it, and then here I can reposition it. So in this case, I want to zoom in here by rolling my middle mouse wheel. So these rotation rings allow me to rotate it, but I want this face to be down. That's how it was designed, to be self-supporting and print without any support. And hence part of the challenge for this lab isn't just designing a part for self-supporting, but setting it up so the software doesn't add support. The Cura software is great. It knows my machine does not have support material, but it'll go ahead and it'll add breakaway support where needed if you tell it to. The other thing I want to point out, now that I do have a model here and it's selected, if I right click, I get other options, such as tell it to center the model in the tray. But what I want to do is I want to orient this face to the bottom. So if I come over here, I can see my options. This will allow me to reset the orientation. This will make it lay flat if it isn't. And this option will let me select the face to align to the build plate, which is what I want. So I'm going to select it, then I'm going to select this face, and you'll notice my part has flipped over. Next, we can tell it to mirror the part, or when we have multiple parts set up on the tray, we can tell it how we would like that part handled. So you notice here it's just normal mode. Here it's going to be printed as support, hence the breakaway visualization. This will let me deal with overlaps, as it said, and don't support overlaps. The next button will help me deal with support. For now I have it oriented properly, and I'm just going to tell it when it prints, let's print it on this section of the tray because I haven't used it in a while, and I'll move it over to this corner. It really doesn't matter. Again, I can zoom in and out by rolling my middle mouse wheel, and I can change my view with these. And in the next video, we're going to pick it up and we're going to set up some customizations that have to do with the printer.